No one will ever question the toughness and durability of Marvin Vettori ever again coming out of the UFC on ESPN 46 main event, where he suffered a unanimous decision loss to Jared Cannonier, absorbing a UFC middleweight record 241 significant strikes over the course of this 5-round fight. It was a tough one for Vettori. He started strong out there, hurt Cannonier in the opening moments of the first round, and it seemed like this might actually be his fight after the first 5 minutes, but Cannonier completely turning the tide and dominating the latter portion, the final 4 rounds of this. And Vettori, even though as much credit as he will get for sticking in there, for never going down and fighting until the bitter end, this was a tough loss to swallow for him, because I think it shows a little bit of separation before where he stands at the very top of this weight class. Of course, he has fought for a belt before against Israel Adesanya. Did not go his way, but his losses since then are a fight against Robert Whittaker and now against Cannonier, and they weren't particularly close in either of them in the end. So that is a bit of a sign for Vettori, and maybe adjustments need to be made, figuring out how he needs to take that next step forward. And taking damage in fights like this certainly isn't going to help, but we'll see how he is able to rebound from it, what pieces he's able to put back together, and how he rebounds. He's been in the UFC for quite some time now. He's fought a lot of these top guys at 185 pounds, and maybe after this loss, this is one where you look at taking a little bit of a step back and trying to rebuild, get on a winning streak, and get some actual momentum and confidence really back on his side inside that cage. And when you kind of look around at what makes sense, probably it's going to be something outside of the top 5, maybe even outside of the top 10 if the situation is right. That Brendan Allen versus Bruno Silva fight coming up here shortly could make a lot of sense. The winner emerging out of that one would probably be due for a step up in competition, and Vettori could fit the bill. He'd be a favorite in that fight. I'm sure after this one he'll probably be taking a considerable amount of time off, as he probably should. A lot to process for Vettori coming off this defeat, but I'm not selling all my stock in Marvin Vettori yet. I think there is still some big wins to come for him in a potential run towards the top of this weight class.